Café and Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people throughout the world from my podcast studio in Brazil. And today we talk with Lorraine Duncan. She's joining us from Norwalk, Connecticut in the United States. Lorraine is a LinkedIn super ninja, B2B LinkedIn strategist, podcast host, professional social media speaker and trainer, and also author of Shout It Out. So Lorraine, why do you like LinkedIn the best?
I love LinkedIn because I think of it as a giant networking tool. And a lot of people don't understand how to use it. But when I use it to just meet and connect with people. And I'm very strategic who I connect with. It's always either like somebody who could be a strategic partner with me or someone who could be a potential client. And I really do take the time to really make my relationships work there. In other words, I'm not into spamming you the first 10 seconds that you connect with me. And in most cases, I've never even really sold anything on LinkedIn through spamming someone. Usually it's they want to work with me because they've seen me elsewhere or they've seen the content that I post on LinkedIn.
That's the important part of following content, is actually seeing what you share.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're B2B, you really need to be on LinkedIn because that's where all your peeps are. That's where you're gonna find them. And really, you really have to work it. You really have to engage. I have like this program that's 13 minutes a day on LinkedIn. Even if you don't have any time whatsoever, you have 13 minutes a day to spend on LinkedIn.
No, and that's a lot of time. Because really, structured as I do, I have LinkedIn on my smartphone, my hand device. Not a phone anymore; it's a handheld computer, right? And so I can be on it all the time for seconds.
Absolutely. And the other thing, I highly recommend everybody download that app on their phone because I don't know if you've ever sat in a doctor's office or in the motor vehicles or wherever you're going, but literally you could just go on and answer somebody on LinkedIn in that time you're waiting in the waiting room. And you're not allowed to be on the phone, so it's the best.
Right.
It's really
that's the point. More often than not, we can't hear, we can't say, but we can see and read.
Yeah. And I mean, one other thing I wanted to say about LinkedIn that's amazing is because they want to encourage people to do great, relevant content. So they had put this thing together called newsletters. And what I love about newsletters is if when you do the newsletter portion, so you have to set it up. It's not like writing a blog post on LinkedIn. It's a newsletter portion. It actually takes all your connections and the very first time you do it, and it just sends them a little email. And on LinkedIn, it sends them a notification saying, hey, Lorraine just started this newsletter. Would you like to subscribe? And I mean, I started just a couple months ago. I remember the first time I put it out there, like about 500 people subscribed. Now I'm up to like 900 and something. And I'm not doing anything other than putting relevant content out there.
Well, that's a lot. And that's not doing, you can't say you're not doing anything. You're doing a lot. And LinkedIn, as I see, I'm also a heavy user. It values the content creator.
Yes. And let me just tell you something. I have learned so much from LinkedIn, from my other colleagues there and everything. It's just, I'm telling you, if I was going to be in a room with a bunch of people, it would be the LinkedIn people that I'd be in a room with.
Well, that's true. And I've been in many rooms, face-to-face, and even virtually. In virtual networking meetings that were LinkedIn networking groups, and they're worldwide. They were virtual.
Yeah, they're awesome, and you learn stuff. I mean, just as much as, I'm sure you could say this, is that when we're on podcasting, we learn from other people that we're interviewing. It's amazing.
No, it is, and that's what I say. And to your point of strategic partnership on LinkedIn and networking, and what I say, my primary goal in networking is exactly that, is to create allies. So I'm not selling anything. I may buy something, but I'm not out there, and I'm not looking for a job, but I am looking for allies. And that's just strategic partnership. It's not actually, somebody who wants to be part of my company, but it's a partnership in what I share, what I hope to share, and what they share.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too that moving forward, LinkedIn is trying to make their platform a little bit more user friendly. They've made some improvements, but not a whole lot yet. But the thing is it's really not that hard. If you're used to using, Facebook or Instagram, it's not so hard to like a post. But what they really want is they want somebody to comment on your post. More so than really Facebook and Instagram. Instagram really counts that towards that, but there's a lot other things involved in Instagram, like when it comes to influencers and stuff. But with LinkedIn, they don't want the same people. So all you people out there doing pods on LinkedIn, it's not working anymore. It doesn't work because the same people commenting on your posts all the time, like your grandmother or your aunt or whatever, that doesn't work.
Well, we found in social media that nothing lasts forever.
True.
And everything is evolving, and LinkedIn to that. But it still is what I have believed it to become, is a place to protect your reputation.
Absolutely, yes. And you don't have to worry about, I see it probably could happen, but it hasn't happened to me. Now watch, now that I've said it, it's going to happen to me. But I've never heard of anybody really getting hacked on LinkedIn.
Well, anything can happen. But years ago, and this is not recently, many years ago when I first started on, people actually created an ID, a profile with my name, and said that I was working at that company. But as soon as I reported that to LinkedIn and other persons, they took them down immediately. And this is years ago. So they're very keen on protecting persons' reputation. They're keen at eliminating fake persons on LinkedIn. And I think that weeding out process is important for us.
They're really good. And even customer service, there is no customer service when it comes to like Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
But there's really good customer service on LinkedIn, and anything that I've ever reported or talked about or asked them about, they're really good at getting back. Can I just share one funny story? Because This is a funny, you go to these courses, and I'm sure many of you who are listening have taken a LinkedIn course. Well, when LinkedIn first came out, I decided to take this little course. And the guy that was teaching the course said, well, you got to really keyword your profile. So I did. And I was probably the very first person that ever got put in LinkedIn jail. They shut me. I guess I think, I tend to overdo it sometimes. And so literally I over keyworded it, like on the bottom of the profile, put social media. But I will tell you this, I was getting so many appointments by keywording, but now I strategically do it and I don't get in trouble anymore. But what was bad about it was I had some appointments that were on my LinkedIn in the messaging, and I didn't write them down because I was just going to go to LinkedIn and dial the phone that way.
Right.
Well, when they shut me down, I couldn't so I had to apologize and take all the keywords out, and then they reinstated me.
Well, that's back to what I said. They're interested in keeping it a fair play playground. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but it was so funny when they yelled at me. They wrote me this letter that I broke into the algorithm like I'm some, espionage spy or something like weird.
Well,
thing.
Anyway, we don't want you to yell, but we do want you to tell our listeners, where can they find you?
You can find me at LinkedIn at Lorraine Duncan, and I'll come right up. And I'm from Norwalk, Connecticut, so it will come right up. And then you could also find me on bizgonesocial.com. And you can always connect with me at Lorraine@bizgonesocial.com if you want to email me.
Very good. Well, thanks for sharing your time and your experiences with us, Lorraine.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay. And for our listeners, it is Lorraine Duncan, Lorraine. The last name is Duncan. Find her on LinkedIn and bizgonesocial.com. Biz with a Z, bizgonesocial.com. Café Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at their site, focusmi.com. Talk to Tom, talk to the world. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.